when you're not talking. So moving on to the agenda, agenda item 1 is attendance and apologies. Over to Jade.
Thanks, Jay. I've not had any apologies this morning.
Excellent, thank you very much. Agenda item 2 are declarations of interest, which is also back to Jade.
Thanks, Chair. So starting with Councillor Haller, please. I have that you're a contributor to the fund. Thank you. Councillor Keat, I have that you have no interests. Thank you. Councillor Tu, I have that you're in receipt of a pension.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Williams, I have that yourself and your wife are both in receipt of a pension and contributors to the funds.
Correct.
Thank you. And Councillor Yule, I have that your father and 2 other family members are in receipt of a pension and you're a contributor.
Yeah, that's also correct.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you very much. So now on to the main reason for being here today, which is item number 3. This is the Pension Fund Annual Report and Accounts for 24/25. I think for David and John know, for the last couple of years, we've held this as a special, essentially one item only meeting online for the express purpose of signing off the accounts and the report, because our meeting schedule and the schedule given to us by Audit Wales don't always align as beautifully as they could do. So I'm going to hand over to Alex to introduce the session. He will then hand over to colleagues from Audit Wales. But I think at the top of the item, just like to remind members, obviously we had a good going over of this item at the last full meeting of the committee, which was September or October, and my understanding is that substantially, although that there are no substantial changes to the draft report as presented to the last meeting. So hopefully we can do the formalities here today. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Alex.
Morning all. Hopefully everybody can hear me. As the chair has just opened the item, I'll just cover a couple of process points really, and then I will turn to colleagues from Audit Wales. So we have Mike Jones and Zibby on the call, who will present the ISA 260, which is effectively their audit report on the outcome of this year's process. Just focusing on the key messages on page 3, if you like. As a reminder to the pension committee, the pension fund is subject to a separate set of accounts and audit sign off to that of the council. As you know from prior updates, we submitted the accounts to the auditor on the 6th of June. We have also done a significant amount of work, and thanks to my colleagues within the team for the production of the annual report again this year, which is the substantial document that takes a lot of time and effort to prepare. That is then being submitted to the auditors subsequent to the accounts. You'll recall from our more substantive meeting on the 6th of October that we went through the document in some detail. We asked the pension committee to approve the inquiries of management document, which is effectively management's responses to questions from audit. So they were approved and forwarded to the audit colleagues. We also discussed a largely completed draft of the annual report at the time, save for a couple of introductions and forwards from the Section 151 officer and the chair of the committee. Pleased to say that all of those outstanding actions have now been completed, and on the 5th of November, the local pension board, who, as you're aware, have effectively an oversight role, not non-decision making for the fund, they reviewed and considered the intended audit opinion and the ISA 260, and Audit Wales also presented to them, and there were no substantive comments that were returning from that meeting. So effectively has been endorsed for pension committee approval today in line with recommendations. As was referred to by the chair, the statutory deadline for publishing the annual report and accounts is the 1st of December. That is why it's important that we set this meeting today to kind of go through the final formalities. I will just turn to Audit Wales in a second to present the key points from the document, but following that, you can see in the report on page 4 the necessary action that is required today, which largely starts with pension committee approving these documents for publication, and then a number of final steps that will happen over the next sort of 24 or 48 hours. But maybe that's a good time to pause and invite some comments or feedback or reflections from the process this year from either Mike or Zibby.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I think members can see that it's a very positive report, and it's not often actually that we write a report which doesn't have any misstatements in. That is highly unusual actually. So in terms of how the process went, really pleased with that. Alex and his team really supportive, and a really good set of accounts. So yeah, that would be the comments back in terms of how it went. Do you want me to? Should we now take through the ISA 260 report? Thanks.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So assuming we'll run through it, I'll ask Zibby in a minute just to come in. She led the audit, so she can just take you through the key points. Assuming you approve them, the Auditor General will sign on Wednesday, the 19th this week. So we'll be able to meet that deadline that Alex was referring to. If I say any more, I'll steal Zibby's thunder. So at that point I'll pass over.
Yeah, I mean, just to echo what Mike said, it's been great. It's rare to find an audit with so little to say, really. Our audit work's now complete. Yeah, we're proposing to recommend that the Auditor General signs an unqualified audit opinion on the truth and fairness of the accounts. We have no amendments to draw to your attention. And yeah, I'd just like to thank the pension fund officers for their support with the audit process. And Mike and I obviously happy to take questions if anyone has anything they'd like to ask.
Hang on. We're in the same room, so Alex needs to turn his sound off. Right, fantastic. 5 years later. Thank you very much for that. And it is really good to hear such a clean bill of health. So at the top of the meeting, I'd like in minutes as well. Jade, actually, I'd like to put my thanks on record for colleagues at Audit Wales, but also actually to colleagues here at the Pension Fund, because actually an awful lot of work goes into this. And it's good to see it received so positively. So members, does anyone have any questions? I know I said you had to put your little yellow hand up, but if anybody wants to raise their hand normally, I can take the questions if they have any. So no hands up by the look of it. John, David, Chris, you're all happy on that screen. Stuart, anything your end? No, in which case, thank you very much again. David's got his hand up on the. Has he? Yeah, David.
Sorry, Chair. No, all it was to sort of just ask if Audit Wales had sort of seen any change in the timescales and processing. Obviously very positive, and I endorse all your comments. But from our point of view, obviously we've seen a bit of a transition with staff. And it's good to see that's gone well. But if there's any comments Audit Wales would want to add to what they've said, really.
So, yeah, I wouldn't go any further than just say, that from our point of view, it's a really good set of quality accounts, good support from Alex and the team. In terms, we had no problems in terms of timeliness. That isn't always the case, as you will know, probably with your own accounts at Torvine, we're not in that position. So yeah, we're in a really good position. Any transition that was in the team has not affected our audit.
Thank you, very helpful.
Yes, again, that's very good to hear. So Alfie's joined as well now. So Alfie, I don't know if there's anything you'd like to raise.
No, I'm all good. Cheers. I'm just trying to figure out how to get my camera on.
All right. Well, you might not need to. We're about to go to. We're about to take a decision. So if I can draw members' attention then to page 4 of the combined pack, and that's the recommendations at paragraph 7. So 7.1, it's recommended that the committee approve the pension fund annual report and accounts for 2024-25. endorse the chair of the pension committee and the section 151 officer signing the letter of representation in respect to the pension fund, and then endorse the section 151 officer signing the accounts indicating their approval. Members, are we all happy with that? David, yeah. Just move on to the next screen so I can see everybody. Excellent. I think that is passed. And in which case, item number 4 is the date of the next meeting. This is the next full meeting of the Pension Committee, and that is scheduled for Monday, the 15th of December, 2024. Thank you again, everyone, for your attendance, contributions to the meeting. Have a nice day. There we go. All right. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks all. Bye.
Cheerio.